Welcome to this video from Dr. Lock. So the first part of this video, I was unable to actually talk during the video just because there were other people in the office. So basically I'm going to show you marking out this mortise lock from fresh. So the door never came with it, and basically the people that manufactured the door can't put the mortise lock in, so basically you're going to call a locksmith, and this is marking it out, cutting it out, and in about a minute's time I'll actually be able to talk during the video. So you'll notice I double check and triple check and make sure the bolt is actually flipping, make sure the face plate is sitting in there perfectly. You don't want the face plate to have any pressure on it. You want it to be a nice snug tight fit, but you just want to double check and make sure that it's going to work really well. So just removing the pencil lines now. Good morning, Locksmiths. Okay, so we've just finished installing this lock here on this door. So what we have to do now is cut in the strike for the actual lock. So what we do for that, there's no striker plate with aluminium mortise locks, but basically what we'll do is we're going to be marking this out top and bottom, and also the swing that the bolt is going to swing. So the first thing is mark top and bottom, pencil, we've got our top and bottom marks. Now the next thing we need to do is close the door. And the other thing to take into account is I can actually hear the air conditioning, so there's a very small buzz, and when I shut the door there's airflow through here, so there's probably an intake for the air conditioning out there somewhere. So this door closer, it's a Lockwood door closer, and it's a good quality one, plenty of adjustment. So this door is actually sitting properly, and we can see that it's flush here. So there will be a strip around it. There you go. There's your strip. And you can hear and feel the air coming through under the door. The other thing I like to look at is when I'm checking it out, there is a gap here. It's easy 5mm, and we'll follow it up. Got a little bit of a gap as it's going down to about 2-3mm, and then 0mm up there. So the jam itself is out, or the door is out, it's kicking out that way. So we've also got to allow, so with this particular door, because we've got the air conditioning going, because we've got the seal, what I'm going to do with this particular one is I'm actually going to, when I cut the strike out, I'm actually going to make it wider, so wherever the door sits, and over time when this door closer, like this is obviously a brand new door closer or close enough to it, that with the door closing they'll still be able to lock it. Because a lot of the time what happens is, if you don't give the strike a little bit of tolerance, what happens is they'll use the key, and they'll use the key to actually pull the door shut and then turn it at the same time. So they'll literally go like this, and they'll use this like that, and they'll pull the door shut instead of using the handle. Most people have got more things in their hands at one time, so we definitely want to, so they're the alarm signals or red flags, whatever you want to call it. Jam not sitting properly, reasonable door closer, which is great, and it is closing. If I needed to adjust it, I'd adjust it, but we're definitely going to give this strike, this cutout, this bolt, a little bit of extra love for the future. So next thing we need to do is I need to actually measure. So I'm just going to flick the bolt out. You can see the door's not sitting square for sure. Like if I just run my eye down there, come down on the door, we're actually out. It's not flush. We're out about 3 to 4 mil, and obviously it's going to get more down here because the door is square, but that's not. So we can see the bolt in there. Just flick it up. See the bolt just flick up there. So we're just going to measure it, and we're going to cut it out. So I'm looking at about 14 millimeters, but we're definitely going to bring it back 15. So we're going to make the cut out about 16 millimeters. So we've got 14 millimeters back set for where the door is sitting today at rest. So this, typically with an aluminium door, the top hinges can come like that. Sometimes they are heavy, and the glass in there. I think they say with tempered glass, 1 square meter of glass, I think is about 40 kilos or something. So, you know, if you roughly said that, it might be, I don't know, 30 kilos, 40 kilos of glass, I don't know. Anyhow, not the point. So we're going to cut that out now. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to have a look at the finished product. Forgot to mention the swing of the bolt. Basically all you do to mark that out is you just open the door, use the bolt and get the bolt in the right position, and then you can pencil line that, bring it across. Now, as I said, I'm going to make this wider. Okay, so we've just hole sawed the strike, and we'll just lock it and unlock. Now we've got the keys here. Now normally I'd use a 19mm hole saw for the actual bolt. This time I've used a 22mm hole saw, so it's 3mm larger. The other thing that's happening is that when the key gets put in, it's going to touch the side right there. So that's because this is here, which is not normally here. So what we will have to do is just file that a little bit. So you've got the choice of either cutting the key or just putting a small file there. The best thing to do is put a small file there, because when people get keys cut, they won't file the bottom of the key. So that's the most appropriate. You can see how that's just, you know, I can just force it around, which I've done that just so I can get a marking. You can see the marking just there. So we'll just cut just ever so slightly out. That way a standard key will actually work. So that is that. Get that done. That is about it. We've had to grind away just a little bit, so now the key will actually turn. Take that out. Door is locked. Door is unlocked. We'll just try it from this side. Take the rubber pencil marks away. Clean the other side, and there we have it. So as I said, like normally if the door was square like this, everything was fine, I would have used a 19mm hole saw for the strike, but I used a 22. So it's better to do that now, so they don't need to call a locksmith in a few years' time, or if or when the door moves. And you can also feel the wind with the suction on the door, and when this door closes, it does start to lose a bit of its strength. You know, then the door's not going to shut properly, and then you won't be able to turn the key because you're going to have to pull and pull on the door. This way, when you do it this way, they're never going to call me back, because we've literally got 2 to 2.5 movement on both sides. So, you know, I like to make things nice and neat, but you have to, like I've done a pretty good job of that strike, of that faceplate, but you have to allow for movement and tolerances. So I'm just going to clean up these pencil marks and then put a file over this strike here, just to make it a little bit nicer, just clean up the edges a little bit. And that is job done. Thanks for watching.